Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fifth Line Podcast. All four of us are back. Who was missing last time? Was it Nick? Or was it Eric? It was Eric. Okay.
Oh, it was me. That was last week.
It was me.
Dude.
Yeah, that was last week, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like it was longer ago because we did it early afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
yep.
That also, I did discuss trip stuff with just Nick. You weren't there with on Discord with Mike and Ben. So that's why. So it was like in my head, I was like, oh yeah, like I was on Discord podcast, but it wasn't the podcast.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So we've got was it 6 out of the 8 first round matchups are done and dusted. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, the golf season is here. Actually, the golf season was here like a month ago, but I had my first round out yesterday. Was that your first round as well, Nick? Or did you do one before? That was the first one?
No, I didn't. Aside from just the simulator stuff, that was my first actual round out.
Nice. Yeah, so we went to Van Patten, did 18 holes in a cart, because walking 18, that's just too much.
Yeah, that would have sucked yesterday, too, because it was fucking hot.
Yeah, it was hot. I was just talking to Eric before you guys got on. It was only like 70s down by him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 80. It's like 85.
We had a friggin' scorcher.
Yeah.
All weekend long.
I got burned.
Well, really? No. I got burned too. What was it? Really Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, today, part of the day?
It's hot.
Yeah. Then all of 80.
It's hot. And you know the worst part of it is the AC in this apartment's actually pretty good. Like downstairs gets nice. Well, the downstairs gets pretty good. But up here, I don't know if there's like no vents or what, but it does not do anything for up here. It's still hot as balls up here. But that's okay. But yeah, so we did 18 holes. I shot a 99 using 2 mulligans, one on the front, one on the back.
That's standard procedure.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I sucked ass on the first few holes. Took me a while to get into it. Had a nice streak of 8s going. And I shot like 57 on the front, and then I came back and shot a 42 on the back. And let me tell you about the first hole on the back 9. Big par 5. It's the tees up high. It's downhill. I hit a drive, and I'm like, all right, let's just hit a straight drive here, which I had been driving pretty well all day. And I hit a drive, and it immediately starts to tail off to the left. And I'm like, no, please. And it hits a tree. It bounces out into the fairway. I got a sick bounce.
Oh, my God.
And then
I was sending you some of my energy yesterday, Mike.
Thank you. And then I hit probably the best 3-wood other than, do you guys remember that one time at the barracks? I hit a 3-wood,
Didn't you get your second 3-wood shot on the green?
I 3-wood from way off. I hit it right on the green. This was probably the second best 3-wood I've ever hit. Just roped it straight down the middle of the fairway, just short of the green. This is a par 5, by the way. So I'm 2 shots in, just in front of the green. So I'm chipping. And I hit a chip to about 2 inches.
Yes,
so I almost eagled, but I still got a birdie. So first round, first birdie, and that's only like the 3rd one I've ever gotten in my life because I'm not very good.
Would that have been your first eagle?
Oh yeah.
I've come close a couple times on you guys would know at Bluff Point. It's the
14th.
I think it's 14. Yeah, it's a short where it's the brush swamp right in front of the tee, and then it's just like the tiniest goddamn hole.
Really short.
I've almost chipped it on that, but I've never had an eagle before either.
I have a golf question. So an eagle is 2 under par.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's how. Okay, I understand that. I never.
Except for you can't eagle a par 3.
No, technically you can, but it's just an ace. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I'd say.
Okay.
I'd be like, I eagled a par 3. That's what I'm gonna yell when I do it.
It's your first hole in one and eagle.
I get it. So
Nick's done that.
It's ace, eagle, birdie. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and then one of the rarer ones. Yeah, there's albatross on like a par 5 if you shoot it in 2, right?
Yeah, 3 under on a hole is an albatross.
What the? Well, okay. And
you'd have to hit an absolute.
Golf got some weird words.
You'd have to shoot an absolute piss missile off the tee.
Yes.
Hell yeah, you do.
And then just get really lucky on the approach shot, because you can't really like plan a wood shot to go in the hole. Like you can't.
That is true.
Nick was hitting piss missiles yesterday.
Oh my god, dude!
A couple of them. I roped a few of them, except for the last hole. I don't know. I probably was just either rushing or just tired off the back. Like,
yeah,
I pretty much drove straight all day long.
Had a pretty good driving day.
One or two, yeah. And that 2-iron off the tee, I cranked one.
Yeah. So listen to this. Okay, so there's a hole there. I love that hole, by the way. That's a really cool hole. It's the whole left side is water. Usually, it was low at this time. But I hit a drive. Yeah, you can see. So you can see the hole from the tee. It's a dogleg left, and so is
there like a view through?
If you can drive long, you can drive the hole.
Oh. Yeah, if you can
clear that left-hand water side to get to the hole.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to draw it around it, which Mike did.
So I am a lefty, so I can fade it. So what happened was I hit one of the longest drives I've hit in my life. I was hitting it long. I've been hitting the gym a little bit, and you can't see the difference on me, but I'm hitting it far. I hit one of the best drives I've hit, like lengthwise, and like I cut the corner a little bit with a driver. Then Nick just walks up to the fucking tee with his 2-iron. Go ahead and tell him.
I stepped up with my driver to try and clear it, but I didn't end up getting it there and put it in the water.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then, so I essentially used a mulligan on that hole.
He hit another ball.
Yeah, so I hit a second ball on that one, and so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just use my 2-iron and try and get it just into the fairway. Take my 2-iron up and crank it.
You fucking outdrove me.
I mean, if you can connect with a 2-iron,
it was one of the best shots. It was one of the best shots I've ever seen Nick hit. It was, and then like he hits a 2-iron off the tee and has less than 100 yards in to the green on that hole.
And then what was the other hole? That one also. Remember, it was before that islandish par 3. It was before it. So it was 2 holes before. Remember that one doglegs left around the tree line, and then the par 3s after that, and then that one, yeah. So that one, it's got like a kind of a hilly fairway, and Logan and Mike both hit really good drives off of that one. And then I remember I hit mine, and we were like, "That one's Logan's, that one's Josh's, this one's Mike's." I was like, "Where's mine?" Oh, just 40 more yards.
Like 30 yards closer to the green is Nick's. And I knew it was because I saw it when he hit it. You knew he was like, because he's got when it's a dogleg right, Nick's just licking his chops because he can just swing as hard as he can, and it's gonna be good if he hits it like where he needs to. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was a good round, good start to the season, which is the same as it was last year for me. I started really well, and then it's literally like every time I went throughout the season, it would get worse and worse. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Played like 4 times last year. And there was varying degrees of success.
Yeah. It was fun. We'll have to. We should try and get together up north again because I like Bluff Point up there. That's fun.
Playing Malone was fun last year.
That was
too.
fun. That was fun.
It's a really nice course.
It is.
It'll fucking kick your ass though if you're a bit out of it, which I was, and there was a few holes that were not quite what I wanted.
Who's off for Memorial Day weekend?
I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be working Memorial Day, but
what's
can do stuff on the weekend.
What weekend is that?
That's not next weekend. It's the following weekend. 2 weekends from now.
The end of June?
It would be the end of this month.
End of May.
Or the end of May? Jesus. I don't know. I'll check it out. But let's.
Yeah, that's a hard maybe for me too.
That, yep. Okay. We're gonna get into the what I think was probably one of the, well, I'd say best series, but all the games were blowouts. We're gonna talk about the Leafs and Lightning series. In just a second. First, I'm gonna remind you once again, if you're enjoying this content, hit subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment. Did you get out on the course yet? Do you have your first round yet? And if you did, what'd you shoot? How'd you do? How'd you feel? And did you hit any sweet 2-irons that impressed all your friends?
And also, did you know what an albatross was? Because I didn't until now. So
yeah, let us know that too. Okay. So the Leafs Lightning. Which of you guys watched? Like any of the games? I know Ben, you probably saw.
I did.
You guys watch? Did you watch?
I saw parts of all of them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I watched all of yesterday's.
Okay. What about you, Eric?
I saw some parts, but then Game 6 and Game 7, I watched the full thing.
Okay. What did you think? What did you think of Game 7? Obviously, Lightning won. They pulled it out. Vasi, who had been having a pretty rough series, showed up.
Clutched up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, he did.
What did I think of Game 7? I thought it was really evenly matched, honestly. I think it was obviously it's the tightest game of the series, other than the overtime Game 6, right?
Yeah.
But I even think it was tighter than Game 6.
Oh, it definitely was, yeah.
I feel like so just watching it, I don't know, not to get too deep. The Leafs did look desperate, but Tampa looked like they were in control defensively. If there's one thing I never really appreciated that Tampa does so well, not never appreciated, but I never really noticed it because I don't watch Tampa a lot during the regular season. Anytime the Leafs would dump and chase, because they have some fast players, Tampa is so good at recovering the puck and then exiting their zone. It is just, they are unbelievable. Victor Hedman, it just every time makes the right decision, is strong on the puck. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
So a lot of credit there. I think the nicest goal of that game was Morgan Riley's game-tying goal, though, by far. Absolute rocket.
Nick Paul, though.
I have my bias, but yeah, that was
here's the thing about Nick Paul's goal. Nick Paul, it's super awesome, but I feel so bad for Jack Campbell because it's one of those weird broken plays where is it great that he kicked it to his stick? Yeah, amazing play, but goalie's got no chance. If you look at the replay of that, a puck in someone's feet, then it comes out.
Yeah, you got to have some quick reaction time for sure.
Sure, it was a good goal. I don't know. I thought the Riley goal was better.
I would agree.
Because of this problem. And also to beat Game 7 Vasilevsky with a shot, Mr. 5 shutouts, in Game 7?
It's so in series
elimination games?
In series clinching games, that's the first goal he's let in 2 years.
So and it made sense. It made sense that was the goal because that was a perfect shot.
That's so dumb.
As soon as that went in, I was like, "Well, fuck, they're not winning this, are they?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those things that just Tampa just knows they not got some bounces, but they made the bounces happen for him. They made the opportunities happen for him. They were patient. I feel like the experience just kind of took over. And I guess we'll talk about this, but I don't really know where to stand on this, but the infamous, or forever in Leafs fans' minds, the interference call, because I didn't realize John Tavares scored, actually. I watched the full game yesterday, except for the first 15 minutes of the first.
Yeah.
And that's when that happened, right? It was some part of the first period.
End of the first, I think. Yeah.
It was end of the first? Okay, yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. And
that was... I've watched that replay so many times. I don't know what to think. I don't... It fits the definition of interference perfectly, but I kind of do understand people who say pick plays happen in hockey.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of get that. So it's kind of one of those weird things.
So the reason I watched it again, because I agree, but when you watch it in real time, you're like, wait a second, that can't be allowed. When you watch the play from the broadcast thing, you're like, something seems off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see that something's off. And I think what it was, because I watched it a couple times, is also my eye is twitching for some reason. There's a lot. Justin Hall moves into position late. He moves into that spot late. When you see pick plays, normally it's a player kind of gliding, like they've been moving kind of the whole time. Maybe they stop into a position. He got into position about a quarter of a second before Sorelli got there, before Tavares went around. So it was a lot more obvious, and I think that's why it was called. And for those people saying, oh, why didn't they call the trip on this guy? Listen, they missed calls on both sides, okay?
On that specific play, the only reason Tavares has the open ice to make that play is because Hall takes Sorelli out of the out of the play. Like,
and I'm pretty sure
it's interference. And I don't know.
I don't know if I'm correct in this, but I think they blew the whistle before the puck.
They did. They whistled before he even took the shot. They just couldn't hear it because everybody was going nuts.
Yeah, that crowd, holy.
They were going for it. Hey,
did they boo? Did you guys see? Did they boo the American national anthem? They were making noise.
If they did, I didn't pay. I wasn't paying attention. I honestly don't pay attention.
All right.
I think I was in late in the game.
So hold on, Mike. You saw that on Twitter, right?
I watched the game, and I was watching. Okay. I was in there when they were singing the anthem, and I kept hearing sounds, and I was like, "Are they booing during the national anthem?"
I'm just gonna keep it simple on that. Whether they were booing or not, as an Islanders fan, when you go to an Islander game during the national anthem, people are like, "The Rangers suck," and like whatever. It doesn't. It's fucking hockey. Who gives a shit? Honestly.
Well, listen. If you're gonna boo the national anthem and your two most important best players in the series are American. Those players being Austin Matthews and the goalie Jack Campbell, and you're gonna boo the United States anthem? Fuck you.
That's
I'm the first one to go after Leaf fans, believe me. But also, I don't know. Let's not take like a bunch of drunk dudes at a hockey game probably booing. Like it was probably a small portion.
It was probably.
Well, I still heard it.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it's. I'm not saying Leaf fans in general, but.
Yeah.
And I also don't know if that's what was happening because it didn't sound.
Yeah.
Like it probably was just a couple people, but.
A few dudes who were maybe like close to one of the in-arena
dumbasses.
Mics where it's like, boo!
Dumbasses. Your best players are from America.
Nick,
will maybe be returning because they have like 2 years left in their deal. What are they going to do if they keep losing first round?
So Nick, you only heard about the series like through like highlights or just didn't really watch much of it?
So I watched.
I told him he had to stop.
I think I watched 1, 3, and 4.
You definitely watched 3.
1, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I wanted to watch 5, but it just didn't work out to it. Sorry, excuse me. 7. Jesus. The fuck.
It was intense.
It was.
I was watching like the scores score updates on my phone, but I was obviously few and far between for that game. But the one thing, what happened with Point? Did he get hurt in the beginning?
Yeah, so
he got hurt really early.
End of the first, or maybe like
it was toward the end of the first, and then he came back for a shift and was immediately like, "Nope, this is not happening." And it wasn't. I don't know. He might have like torn like something in his knee, maybe.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter and I was like, "Oh."
So the way it looked to me, I didn't watch the injury because that stuff grosses me out. But the way he was carrying himself after the fact, it made me think like it made me think he like popped his hip out.
It looked a lot like it was hip,
like a dislocated hip.
As soon as he went down, because just the way that series of events went, he was going into the left. What would be if your primary stop foot was your front forward right foot, right? He was going into it, and then it like circled. He caught an edge or something, and it swung him around. And it looks like his leg got like underneath him, and that's what it looked like to me. I was like, it didn't look like a knee. No. Usually, you could with a knee, you see that twist up, and you didn't see his knee twist. You saw it like kind of his whole leg just get twisted into underneath him, which was more like hip, which was gross.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's a hip thing.
If you watch the video too, the replay, I know you won't, but
no.
If you guys watched it, you can see him immediately. He's grabbing his upper hip.
I watched that play, and it wasn't a dirty play or anything like that. It was an unfortunate catching of it.
It looked like Tavares was right there when it happened too.
Giordano.
So it kind of looked like, if you watch it quick, that he might have like hooked him or something. But if you slow it down and watch it, he doesn't touch him. No. He might touch his skate, but doing that's not going to make his whole body twist up.
Right? It was self-inflicted.
No, yeah, that kind of sucked to see early in the game because, like, honestly, just for entertainment purposes, you want best on best game 7. Come on.
Oh, and I wanted them to win, so I was like, damn it!
Yeah.
I was like, no.
It's okay.
Because here's the thing.
It's okay because my boy stepped up for you.
That's fucking right, he did.
Yes, he did.
But that's the thing is, especially at the games in Tampa, Point and Cirelli were on a line together because Point, a lot of people don't know, is probably like the second or third best defensive forward on the Lightning. Mm-hmm. So it was Cooper put Point and Cirelli together, and they were the opposition to the Matthews-Marner line, which worked pretty well. I mean, they still scored a good few times, but
that's because they're good.
That's because they're
Marner. Yeah.
So when he went down, I was like, fuck. I didn't like it. I thought.
So I know, to be honest, the early part of the series was just, like you said, blowouts back and forth. And that's why, like, I feel like you talked about the series game 6 and 7 or the big games. What'd you guys think about in game 6, the high sticking call to make it a 5-on-3 for Tampa?
I mean, you guys saw the second call was the better one because it was a high stick on Victor Hedman. It was the first one that was a little iffier. Cal Foot definitely sold it.
Interesting.
I mean, do you call it selling, dude? Let me wave a stick next to your face. Are you gonna move away from the stick?
Yes, you probably. Which is that is the other part of it is.
I mean,
but whenever you see a head snap back when it's like a stick is lower, people are gonna get mad at it.
Oh, I know.
But like it's still, but also there's no way you're gonna be able to, like, as a ref, if you're skating up from behind of that, like. Yeah, you're going to call that. It's going to get called. You shouldn't get your stick up that high.
Like, that's the thing. Does it have to hit a face to be a high stick? Because it hit him in the shoulder pad.
I don't know what the word of the rule is, but yeah, I don't think it does. But that's the...
Ben, you said this. Oh, sorry, Nick. Go. Sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, because I was going to bring it back. Ben, you said the second one was the better call? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but Hedman lifted Kerfoot's stick into his own.
Kind of.
He lifted it up to about here.
Yeah.
And then Kerfoot was like, well, I got to get away from this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't like he just like rammed it up into his face like every Leafs person on Twitter was saying. But yeah, I mean, you could argue both. I still think the Victor Hedman was the more legitimate one.
It probably shouldn't have been a 5-on-3.
Yeah,
is the moral of the story.
Well,
but also that 5-on-3 brought it tied. I don't know. Like,
let's put it this way:
still could have done something after that.
Tampa or Toronto still could have won that either of those games.
Yeah,
yeah. You can argue the calls, but like they had their chances.
Yeah, that's Nick. Thanks for saying that. That's what I was going to get to. I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about those calls because regardless, a good team's going to find.
I think they were both wonderful.
Well, yeah.
I'm biased, but I try and stay in the middle of the road when it comes to penalties.
Yeah, and I just want to. Sorry, Nick.
No. I'm good.
Yeah, I know, like this. Like you said, the whole series, the officiating was kind of yeesh, but especially for that series. But
then also in 7, it goes to the same thing as I was talking to Mike. Point was out after the first.
Mm-hmm.
Kucherov was very clearly dealing with something earlier on in the game.
Yes.
He kind of came into it as the game went on. He felt like he seemed like he was more involved. But then also by the end, they just weren't using most of their fourth line except in like sparing uses in terms of guys. So like it was the Leafs playing like a 10 forward team at max.
Yeah.
So
you should be able to win that game.
I was just going to say, if that's really what was happening and you don't have two of your top 3 guys, two of your top 3 forwards playing as they should, then
like
the other
Vassy did Vassy,
but then again, you're back to the Montreal series last year when you just lose one guy or not Montreal. Yeah, it was Montreal. They lose one guy and it freaking cripples the team.
Except it didn't for 3 games.
That's the thing.
They stormed out and kicked the shit out of the Habs for 3 games, and then the Habs were like, I guess we could try. And then the Leafs didn't really know what to do.
And the Leafs, unfortunately, had 3 closeout games in a row, and they're not allowed to win those. So.
They don't like winning those. So
one thing we're going to have to talk about here, not probably not today because it's kind of early to speculate on what's going to happen with that team.
Oh no, we're gonna talk about it in about 5 seconds here.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Let's go. I want to get into this.
Real quick,
I have some thoughts on this.
Nick Paul, re-sign Nick Paul. God, I love that guy.
You can have him, and we'll take your boy. I want him.
Okay, well, we already have him, so. Oh, well, you have him,
yeah. I want to keep him.
Go ahead.
What?
He's talking about Joseph.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, he did kind of tear it up with the Suns after he went there.
Ass when he was there.
He was, yeah.
It was a hell of a trade. That's one trade from a Canadian team to Tampa that actually worked.
It worked out. What do you mean? See, Sergachev. Oh, you mean for the Canadian team?
For the Canadian side, yeah.
They all work for Tampa. But Nick Paul, dude.
Yeah.
Dude is big. He's a hard worker. He's sick. That's all I got. Keep him. 27.
He had a hell of a game last night. Yeah.
Those were his first 2 postseason goals. Good time to come in.
I don't think he's ever been in a postseason before. He might have been with Ottawa. Yeah, because he's been around there for a little bit.
Has he?
I don't know.
Would he have been in there for the 17?
I don't think so. I don't think he was. That team, they didn't have.
I'm curious now.
You'd have to look. Let's move on. But while you're looking that up, I don't think anybody was.
You think they've all
been moved to different teams, or?
Well, he was drafted in 2013 by Dallas.
I would say aside from who the fuck?
He was on that Ottawa team.
Was he?
He was a very minor player on it, though, so he might not have done anything because he had 11 games played in that regular season. So
he probably didn't even sniff.
Oh, it was 16-17. He had 1 game played in the regular season, so he probably didn't play.
So,
I think Zaitsev was the only one.
Zaitsev was on the Leafs.
Was he on the Leafs then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of the Leafs.
Speaking of the Leafs, thank you for that transition. Nick Paul is great. Sure. Okay. Moving on. I think it's interesting. People are talking about the big boys because I saw a tweet last night. The Leafs' top point producers in the series in order: Matthews with 9, Marner with 8, Nylander with 7, Tavares with 6, Morgan Riley with 6. Like, that's literally the Leafs core.
And it's all the highest paid guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all did exactly. That was what they did, you know. And then you look at Tampa, and you look at a team that made a great trade deadline pickup and stuff like that. They had a goalie really, really step up. Jack Campbell played an amazing series. I know it was very back and forth, but Jack Campbell was great. I understand, like, you know, those Leafs fans. Obviously, something has to change. I really don't want to get too crazy into what the Leafs should do this offseason. Like you said, Nick, I think that is like crazy, but. Like, man, it just really does. Yeah, it feels like they just got outplayed by Tampa, and that's sports. You get outplayed by the better team, even if you give it your all. You know, someone has to come out on top. But it is in those clutch situations they just weren't able to get it done. And after the game, I was curious about this. So I know it's different. Everyone's all the memes, 5 years in a row, yada yada. Ben, you had a tweet ready the second the game was over. Jesus Christ. I don't want to get involved in that rivalry. I don't want to get involved in that rivalry at all, man. Jeez.
Yeah, for reference, I screenshotted Austin Matthews' 60 goal total in like the NHL leaders, and then I put text over the Thanos, all that for a drop of blood, and I put all that for a first round exit.
You had that ready before the game even started, didn't you?
No, I actually as soon as it ended, I spent like 5 minutes just throwing it together, and there we go.
But it jinxed it.
Talk about a salty rivalry. But anyway, if I was just curious, looking back before, you know, obviously Tampa's an amazing team, but before they were amazing, they had the crushing sweep. And I was kind of curious before that. I was like, what's Tampa's playoff history before their finals? And
pretty good.
Really fucking good. Yeah.
Like, honestly.
But in terms of getting the job done based on how good Tampa's had a good team for how freaking long.
Oh wow.
Like 2014, I think, was when they really kicked it in.
Here we go. So 2014, they lost in the first round. 2015, they lost in the Stanley Cup final to the Blackhawks. That was a great year. Tyler Johnson was injured. Totally get that.
So was Ben Bishop. He was playing on a torn nutsack.
Yep. 2016, they lost in the conference finals. 2017, they missed the playoffs. 2018, they lost in the conference finals. 2019, they lost in the first round. And no one talks about that because obviously they're amazing now. Who gives a shit, right? They got it done.
So I think I see the point you're trying to make.
First round, though.
I see the point you're trying to make.
Sweep, they made 2 conference finals and a Stanley Cup final.
Yes. No, yes. But my point here, okay, no, listen, I'm not going to compare, the Leafs are just like Tampa. No, terrible playoff success. But my point is, it's one of those things in hockey, like, I just look at the Leafs and they're a good team. You literally can't deny they're a good team. And they just can't get it done. And it's just one of those things. I wonder how long it is going to take. I feel like they will soon. I honestly do when I look at that team. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But just I don't know. I just look at like good teams like that or teams that eventually do the thing, right? Like it seems like in the NHL, it's the one sport they just got to go through. I mean, Washington was another example. Jesus, the second round was like. Their kryptonite, you know? So I think in terms of moving forward, I don't know. I don't think you blow up the team. Maybe you do. Maybe change coaching. Again, I'm not getting too deep into it, but it's just crazy to me. Hockey's like that. I was really thinking about that. Hockey's that one sport you just got to go through the pain before you can enjoy the good moments. And the Leafs have just gone through the pain for 18 years. No big deal.
I don't know.
Honestly, at this point, it's probably a coaching thing. Like, they have Sheldon Keefe as their coach, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they have a good team, and they had a great season too. But I don't know. I don't know what you do to the team.
I think joking with Mike Babcock too. But,
I think it's a mental thing.
It's every time they end up in a position to end a series.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, every time they ever get in a spot to end a series, they just never get there. They never seem to have the urgency.
I will say, I don't remember I don't think I watched a lot of their series against the Habs, but in this series, games 6 and 7, the games that they could have closed it out, they didn't play badly at all. They were
the better team in my opinion in both games, honestly.
Yeah.
I will say if you look at the last year compared to this year's series, 6 and 7, in 6 against Montreal, they outplayed the shit out of Montreal for good portions of it. But Montreal Montreal started strong for about the first 40, and then the last period, Toronto was like, all right, we're going to fuck you up. And they kind of did for a while, and Carey played his ass off. But they did get it to overtime where Carey continued to play his ass off. And then Kotkaniemi put a shot off of, I think it was Justin Hall's leg, or was it Travis Dermott's? It was off some defenseman's leg and in past Jack Campbell. It was like they dominated that game. They dominated that overtime and then lose.
Yep.
And then become just like this shell of a team in game 7 against Montreal. Like they did not, from the puck drop, look good. Like there was not a moment it looked like they were going to win that game. Counterpoint that to this year, game 6, it's kind of the same situation. They even did the 5-on-3 power play for the other team in game 6 in the third period. They copied that from the Montreal series too. But Tampa wins the game after, I would say Toronto probably looked better in that overtime. Vasi kind of kept him in it there at the end. But then this time around in game 7, they were in it the whole way.
Oh yeah.
They were playing really, really well. So there was a bit more of a response this time around. Like they didn't seem as phased in game 7 this time around as they did last year. Last year, it very much felt like they were just skating around like, fucking this again. Like, geez, what the, like, but I didn't see that this year. I think they just lost. Like,
which can happen.
And it came down to, at the end there, especially the last 5 to 10 minutes with Tampa, just clogging every lane, blocking every damn shot. Like
little flips out every time they get it.
Toronto had zone time, but like they didn't do a damn thing with it for the last. And they're just because Tampa was that good.
I'd like to talk because I think we did see them blink a little bit right at the end. Like I think they believed they were like, we can do this right up until they pulled the goalie, because they pulled the goalie and dumped
Matthews
the puck
like do a dump in? Yeah, he did a dump in, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
with like
they're gonna
40
get
seconds, with like 40 seconds left, and then
they're gonna retrieve it.
Yeah, and then with 20 seconds, someone, I forget who it was, ringed it around the boards.
Yeah.
And then one of the Lightning guys got to it on the boards and just right against the boards. So those were mistakes. I think that's when the panic set in, but it's unfortunate.
In the last minute when you're trying to tie a game, that's a little more fair. It's better than what they've done in the past, but
I don't remember who said this. It might have been me. But somebody said if they don't do it this year, one of the core four is gone. Do you remember who said that? Was it me?
You
okay.
Did.
I don't agree with my past self. I think you keep the team together. I mean, listen.
I think you do it one more time, right? You keep the team together one more year, and if they can't do it again next year, then you move on from one of the guys.
It depends on how they lose. If they lose,
right? It's different when you push to a game 7 with the previous year's Stanley Cup champion. Like the problem is, like this is the problem with it is that division, conference, whatever you want to call it, it's too damn good to have an easy first round game, like first round matchup.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have them or Florida or Carolina. Or
in the one year they had an easy first round matchup, they fucked it up too.
They really did.
Right, but they weren't gonna.
It was a fun round,
get there that year because Tampa was too damn good. Regardless, like Tampa was a force last year. So
could have gotten past that first round, though.
Yeah,
they would have gotten to the Stanley Cup final, and then they would have been like, "Oh, they're the best Leafs team ever."
But I don't know what they do, right? So they got to re-sign Jack Campbell, and like their back end got somewhat shored up because they have Riley and Brody.
So Riley gets a raise.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell's not staying there. Jack Campbell earned him millions of dollars.
Right.
Unless he chooses to stay
there. Cap in like detail, so I don't really know what their whole situation is. I just don't see how they're going to keep him. I mean, maybe you get the Mrazek contract out of there, but I don't know why anybody would want that because I'm fairly certain he's signed for another 2 years, I think, and at like 3 something.
The way I see this,
he was bad this year.
He was bad this year. Yeah,
Mrazek, yeah, he was. The way I see this, and if I'm Jack Campbell's agent, this is how I'm selling it. I'd be like, he went toe to toe with the best goalie in the world and almost beat him. And he makes the best. Vasi makes 9.5. So we'd like at least 7
or 8. Yeah.
Oh God!
So I don't.
That Mrazek contract, man.
Leafs aren't affording another $7 million player.
That Mrazek contract is $3.8 million for another 2 years.
Oh, that's awful.
What were they doing with that?
That's really bad. They're gonna get rid of that somehow. They'll offer like some sweeteners to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, but then what do you
some crappy team is gonna take that.
Granted, I don't know. Yeah, Arizona probably wants a goalie or something.
So just saying,
they want a goalie and want to hit the cap floor.
It's not the
needs a backup.
It's not the best. It's obviously not a good contract, but also let's be real. I don't think any of us expected Mrazek to be that bad.
No,
like seriously, like that's kind of you can't really.
Listen, he was so bad he got waived and cleared waivers.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's Peter Mrazek, who was historically pretty good. Yeah, like he's been a pretty good backup most of his career.
Well, where he was good.
Right, so.
Carolina.
Yeah.
The most defensively sound team, I would say. In the league.
He's the reason. The way Carolina played last year is the reason he got the money he got from Toronto.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
They seem to be able to be very plug and play with their goalies. Like they don't seem to kind of throw whoever in there and they're fine. Because like I'll respect Antti Ranta, but like he's not insane. Like he's a guy. Like,
and they also won. They won anyway with I don't know his name, Kochikovic. That's not
something
it.
like that. Starts with K.
Kochekov. That's it. Yep, that's it.
Gotcha. I'm showing some love to my goalies.
I haven't watched like any of that. I didn't watch like any of that series except for a bit of the last game.
Well, you know what that means. Moving on to that series. Moving on to that. Well, quick recap. So congrats to Tampa for getting it done. That was a really awesome series. Toronto fans, I'm so sorry. And Tampa, enjoy having. And Montreal fans, I seriously, I don't know what fuels your hatred that much, but sure.
Oh, God. I know what it is. It's the media coverage, and it kind of was pissing me off too in this series. I understand. I don't have the.
Keith Jones between the ice, dude. I'd rather Pierre Maguire. Keith Jones. Oh my God, he was bad. The game. This is the last game I watched, and this is the last thing we can say about this.
No, keep going. I like this.
So, I gotta remember. So he was. Jack Campbell gave up like 5 goals, right? It was the bad game.
Oh yeah,
his bad game.
Yeah, that was the bad game.
And he gave up. I think it was 4. He was through 4 goals, and Keith Jones was like, I don't know why he's in the game. I don't know why he's in the game anymore.
Oh like, yeah,
you're a fucking analyst, dude. You're not playing the game. Why the fuck would you even know? Like you could assume. Yes, he's playing bad, but they're in the fucking playoffs. Of course, you're going to play your best goalie.
Yeah.
As long as you can. And then obviously they ended up pulling him, but like, shut the fuck up.
I don't
know. I didn't think he was that bad, but yeah, that's kind of. I don't know why you still especially between the benches, the fucking coaches listening to him say that.
It's kind of funny. I do always think about that whenever the image
like he comes over. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Or like you'll hear one of them talking about like, oh, this player has really been struggling tonight. They really haven't been able to like get their passes off. And then I want someday just for them to just kind of just like look over and just feel like
it pans over to the bench and the dude's just like,
what the fuck is this? Jeez, okay.
What the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
That'd be funny. All right, so we can stay in the East, I guess. Boston, Carolina. We were just teasing that one a little bit.
Let's go into it.
Yeah. So Carolina takes them out in 7.
What a series. Great freaking
good series, yep. Home team wins every game.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Awesome.
That's why Nick Capola is a Boston fan. And he's like, really, and I think really like in general, and you guys probably can agree, series isn't ever over until you lose a home game. And that's funny that we talk about that because they didn't lose a home game. The home team didn't lose their home ice games.
Yeah, the home. So. Yeah. It's you're right. There's a lot of the time if you can steal one on the other team's ice, it's considered like, that's your job. That's your job when you're away is just steal one.
Yeah, if you can, right?
Yeah.
That series, can I just say, Ben, you've hinted at it before, Antti Raanta. I know, obviously backup for most of his career, but what a freaking series that man played.
Did he have a good one?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I hadn't seen any of the games, really.
Well, you guys didn't watch?
I watched a good amount.
He was locked. Mike, I don't know if you agree with me. He was locked in. He made big saves when he needed to.
He did.
Man, like Boston should not have anything to hang their heads about. They pushed and pushed with the team they had. I was watching the Bruins, other than Paul, Marchand, Bergeron, all those guys. I don't know half the roster. Craig Smith. I was like, oh yeah, that guy exists. Roster. Okay.
Yeah.
And the fact that they played as well as they did, I think it was just really back and forth. Pretty nasty series too in the beginning. It's one of the more nasty series.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot closer than I would have thought. Obviously, you saw our episode before the playoffs. I tore into the.
Bruins fucking up my bracket. The Bruins.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you listed the goal totals in the season series, and that was pretty
16-1. So I thought it was going to be a blowout, and the Bruins kept in it. So good for them.
Teams like that, like the Bruins, the Penguins, the Caps, you can never, when they have a home game in the playoffs, it doesn't matter what year, they're not falling off. They're
perennially good teams. It doesn't.
They might not win, but they're going to give it a hell of a go.
like Boston next year. Well, we're gonna one of us.
Yep.
Blokes is
Every
gonna
time.
count out Boston
One of
next
us
year. And we're gonna
blokes.
fucking make it again.
Well, call me bloke then, because I'm doing it.
I'm gonna say no if what's his name
Listen,
goes Bergeron.
Boston's got their back end situation all figured out. Like their defense and their goalies they're set for a while in the back.
Their goalie situation is nice.
I don't know.
They got Omar and Swayman. They're both good goalies. The problem is they have a forward situation.
You say the McAvoy contract, Benny?
No, I said I don't know how the back end of that Lindholm contract is going to go. That they just decided to give him 8 years after grabbing him from Anaheim at the deadline. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know that. No.
Fairly certain it was 8 years.
Right, I'm going to give the Bruins the benefit of the doubt and say somehow it's going to work.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure this
will be good. The only thing that's up in the air with the Bruins right now is what happens with Bergeron.
Yeah,
and that's the last thing. Yeah. So you guys saw the video?
No.
Yeah, he was saying bye to everybody.
Patrice Bergeron was hugging the entire roster as everyone left the ice. He stayed on the ice.
He said he like shook like ref's hand.
Yep.
Like he was talking to like staff there.
Yep.
So it looks like he's done.
Dang, he's heading to Montreal.
I don't think he's going to Montreal.
Oh man, that'd be great.
That's too bad.
I don't. To be honest, I kind of watched some games of the series. That's all I have to say about it. Hard fought. I think Carolina deserved it. Max Domi, the unlikely Game 7 hero. What the hell?
What a beast. 2 goals and an assist.
I forgot he was a deadline pickup.
Yeah.
And that's like a pretty big name. Like, I'm like, what the hell? How did I forget about this dude?
Yeah. What's up, Tucker?
So,
who's coming?
What do you think about Bergeron? Might be leaving. What do you think? Okay.
Sniff, lick, sniff.
He thinks he wants to give Nick a kiss. That's what he thinks.
But yeah, quick little update. They did extend Hampus Lindholm for 8 years at $6.5 million a year.
Jeez.
He's going to be signed until 2029, 2030.
I don't think that's a good move. All right, so we are recording this currently. We started at 8 p.m. Sunday, so obviously there are games going on.
He's already 28. Why would you do that?
Pittsburgh is up currently on the Rangers.
What's the
3-2. 3-2. So it's only 1 goal.
Close.
End of the second. So they got one. Rangers have 1 period to get her done.
Listen, I thought that Pittsburgh was going to close that series out in Game 6, and then the Rangers came back. So
yep.
All right. Are we?
Fluttery goal.
We're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the 2 series where Game 7s are still going on right now, right? I know Calgary.
We can kind of mention what's happened so far.
Yeah.
Okay. If we're staying in the East, Pittsburgh Rangers then, because we just brought it up.
Pittsburgh had him, and I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
Well, Pittsburgh had him, and then Jacob Trouba-Zelbo.
Yeah, big Trouba.
I don't really know if that hit was dirty or not. I only saw it once. I didn't look at it again.
I think it was just an unfortunate.
It just seemed more like an unfortunate collision than anything. But Trouba does have a bit of a past with some bad hits, so
he just throws big hits, man.
Yeah,
and sometimes they're
get a lot of leeway. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. It just seemed like it was just shitty.
Yeah.
On that play.
Ben, I wanted to ask you because you probably remember this. You shared a ridiculous Crosby playoff tweet. In those he took over the first half of this Rangers.
He had like 4 points, or like he had something insane in like 4 games. It was like 7 points in 4 games or something. Just like it was dumb. He's still so dumb.
Yeah.
Like he saw everybody being like, top 3 players in the league. Well, McDavid's up there, Draisaitl's up there, Matthews up there. He's like, fuck all of you.
Yeah,
I still exist.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You guys forget about me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
So has he done anything tonight? Let's see, because I know he's back in tonight. He has 1 assist. The goal that brought them back ahead into the lead was Evan Rodriguez.
So he is in tonight.
He is in tonight. Him and Jari both came back in tonight.
Yep. There it is. He's back. They're winning.
Yep.
Fuck.
So real quick, Nick, I know you do enjoy the Rangers. Have you been watching more of this series? No. Okay.
Not on me.
Okay.
I haven't watched this
series actually.
Comeback.
I think I want to know what you guys think about this. I guess the big thing about the series, it's Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Good rivalry. I kind of figured it'd be back and forth. Pittsburgh and the Rangers, playoff rivalry for years. They always meet in the playoffs.
I had way too much tunnel vision about Montreal for a while,
Oh, also another thing. Sorry, I was paying attention to this. In the regular season, do you guys remember the Penguins and the Rangers had some late season games, and they kind of knew they were meeting in the playoffs possibly, so they went at it. And Shesterkin waved bye-bye to the Penguins when they beat him. And I wanted to get into that. It's funny, Shesterkin did that, and Shesterkin doesn't look that good this series.
No, he doesn't.
Not had a great series. No.
So, what do you guys think about that? I want to know. What do you guys think is going
you gotta
on there?
wait
The Rangers
to gloat.
Defensively?
Why would you gloat before the playoff series?
It's ballsy. It's
You
ballsy.
dumbass.
I love it for entertainment.
An overconfident young goalie that's about to get fucked.
Hey, you never know. They still got a period.
They could still do it.
They do.
They could still do
But
it.
do you guys think part of that is the Rangers defensively? The youth is showing it. The talent is there, raw talent. But
Defensively,
Listen, I said this.
Their whole
I
year
also
they've
said
been
this.
scoring a bunch and then relying on him. But Nick,
No, I was just saying. I said this going into the playoffs is the biggest problem for the Rangers is that they have a very hard time scoring even strength goals. 5-on-5 goals, they have a hard time doing it. I don't know why. Plus, Kreider's been a fucking ghost this playoffs.
no, he's been good.
Has he been okay?
been
I know
pretty
he had that one
Has he?
game winner.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he did much. I don't think he's done a whole lot, especially earlier in
been
the
okay.
series.
You want to know
And
something
everyone's
weird?
scoring.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
All right. You want to know something weird? So he had was it 50 goals or 52?
I know he hit 50.
Yeah, he hit 50 goals. I'm pretty sure like 20 of them were power play goals.
He was a menace on the power play this year. Yeah,
he had so many power play goals. It's pretty weird.
Just all around the net front this year, just banging him in.
That's what he does.
Next up.
I mean, well, what do you guys think is gonna happen
before
here?
we keep going, who's gonna take the game?
I mean, probably Pittsburgh.
Rangers.
I'm still gonna go with the Rangers. They're gonna sneak something out here.
Yeah, Chris Kreider.
Steal it.
Is it okay? I don't.
Chris
know.
Kreider's going to take Jari back out of the series.
You want to know who? Correct me if I'm wrong here, Eric. Has Panarin done anything?
No.
Has Zibanejad done anything?
Yeah, Zibanejad's done some things,
Okay.
but they definitely, Panarin and Zibanejad have their chances and kind of, they've been like quiet. I mean, they're not, it's one of those things, right? They're not doing anything like bad, but they're not like taking over games. Like Panarin can take over a game. He has the talent to do it, and he hasn't done that. So I was watching, actually last weekend, my friend Matt had a surprise birthday party. And it was crazy. All of his like friends, like hockey friends, and everyone was there. And most of them are Ranger fans. And what game was it? I forget what game it was, but Pittsburgh was up 3-0, and the Rangers came back and tied it 3-3. And Panarin ripped one short side on Domingue, and everyone was going nuts. They're all Ranger fans. And then Pittsburgh won 7-4. So
Jesus,
like Panarin, like the Rangers, like they had the momentum. They came back, and Panarin did take over. Like those guys, the big guys stepped up, got the comeback, but then that was it. You know, Pittsburgh just was like, nah, we'll take it back. So
Zibanejad has 2 goals. Zibanejad had a quiet regular season.
He had more of a quiet year this year.
He's 2-5 right now, so he's okay.
he frigged up the Lightning.
The pickup for Kopp, though, was good for him. They got Alex Kopp has 4 goals this playoff so far.
Oh, Andrew Kopp has 4 goals. He's been great. And I will also say this with this series. Capo Caco, Lafreniere, they've really made some big strides. They're playing great. If you watch the games, oh man, defensively, forecheck, everything, they're playing tenacious playoff hockey. Like they're hungry, young and hungry. So that's really awesome. I think this third period, Rangers have home ice advantage. That's huge.
Yeah. The Garden.
But we'll see. Pittsburgh, I don't know. I kind of with Ben, I almost have this weird feeling. Maybe it's the Islander fan in me, but Pittsburgh is just freaking a nuisance. They're good. They're good in the playoffs, man.
That's very true.
So,
all right.
Next,
we're gonna go we'll go to the Battle of Florida.
Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap up the.
Yeah. So we'll go there next. I gotta pee. I'm not even gonna try and put it eloquently. I gotta pee, boys. All right. So we'll be back just in a second here.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the channel, Ben's Burp. We're going to go through the Florida-Washington series now.
Yeah.
And I want to... Okay, which one of you have watched the most of this series? I watched a decent chunk of the series as well.
Pretty big chunks of games, because I always had them on at work, and I was always pissed at all of the multi-goal leads that Washington kept giving up because they were fucking my bracket over. that empty net goal that they missed by like a foot. And I don't remember what game it was, but it would have put it away and given them a game lead. Ah, man.
I'm pretty sure that was game 4.
They could have had that series.
I'm pretty sure that was game 4 because if they had won it, I'm pretty sure it would have been 3-1.
No, game 5 because if Florida won in 6, right? Florida won in overtime game 5. They were up 3-2.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Washington, they damn near did the thing. Like they could have done the thing, but Florida just has too much offensive firepower, really. And Carter Verhaeghe decided to go beast mode a couple times.
5 points in that one game.
I'll tell you, without Verhaeghe, they don't win that series.
Florida did not look as strong as I was expecting.
Yep, they did not.
So Huberdeau didn't do a lot offensively, I don't think. Like, I think he did okay, but who is it? Fuck, I always forget.
I was just going to say, Barkov did not show up until the end. He got, I think, the game-winning goal in game 6. But before that, he was kind of just...
And it is important to mention the only other... all right, so if we're talking about best trade deadline pickups and for what they've done in the playoffs, obviously Nick Paul is number 1 because he clutched it. But Claude Giroux, my goodness, has been a great pickup for Florida.
He has been.
Barkov gets involved because beautiful assist to him from Giroux at the end of one of those games. And Giroux's scoring tying goals. He's out there creating chances every shift.
As a crafty veteran should be.
Yep. And so he's delivered, checks all the boxes that they expected from him. But Washington,
here's Florida's problem going forward.
What's that?
Ekblad got hurt.
Did he?
Did he really?
I think he got a little something.
He was playing through something. You're right. Yeah.
I expect him to continue.
He got ran over by Ovi at the end of that one of those games. Or in one of those games.
Yeah.
That can't be
so
fun.
I thought he got hurt from that.
He probably did. I expect that he'll
fucking lay the body like he.
I mean, he's got a big body. That's a big, angry Russian.
He's got the donk on him, that's for sure.
Has he got a big booty?
I mean, probably. He's a hockey player. That's how it usually goes. Their hips are, especially
their
the
hips
ones that
don't
go
lie
hard like that. They do not lie.
Going forward,
thighs,
we kind of talked about the basis of the series. I mean, real quick, I guess Washington obviously needs to make some changes. I know Ovechkin was pretty upset in the post-game presser. I forget what the quote was, but he said something like, "This team, what was the Ovechkin quote? I forget what
he's got the dunk."
Oh my god!
What is he wearing?
We got the
dunk.
Are those LA Rams pants?
Who is that?
That was Alex Ovechkin's ass. But...
Jesus.
Listen, hockey players got big asses, dude. You ever see footage? Sorry to go on this tangent. Do you ever see footage of them warming up and they're wearing shorts? No. Not that I'd spend the whole time checking out dudes' asses, but I'll do it. I'll take a glance, and they're they got some nice butts, man.
Thanks.
They do indeed. My favorite meme is still the St. Louis thighs, the different memes they put it into.
He's got some big freaking legs, man.
I can't find this quote that Ovechkin said, but regardless. All right, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Washington, Florida series.
The Caps obviously need to make some changes, but I guess we'll kind of preview the next series if you guys want to do that. Tampa, Florida.
Another Battle of Florida should be
another Battle of Florida. Yeah,
grand old time that'll be fun because last year's series was a fucking lot of fun.
That was a nasty series. Holy mackerel!
It was. This one's gonna be. I don't know if this one will be as bad because they haven't played him as much in the regular season, but also. They just played each other in the playoffs last year, so it probably will be just as bad. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of. It depends on what happens with Point. If Point's able to play and be what he normally is, then I would favor the Lightning. a little bit, just because playoff Vasi showed up in that last game, and hopefully he continues to show up. But if Point's not there, Florida will be able to beat a pointless Lightning team, I think.
Okay.
Not when Nick Paul and Brandon Hagel come fucking screaming up the wings every damn shift,
Listen,
and putting goals from the third line.
Listen, when the Lightning lost their third line, which was their best line through both postseasons, I still maintain that. They might not have scored the most, but they were the momentum line. And this new third line they've got is maybe not the same, but it's just nearly just as good. They do the same thing. They get it deep. They get down there. Nick Paul, a beast. Colton's a beast. And Hagel's just like a little speedy guy, just running around. I don't know. I like it.
I think they have a decent chance against Florida, especially just with the way Florida's been playing.
I think so.
If you serve up 3-4 goal leads to the Lightning on a platter like they have been with Washington, I don't think they're going to have as easy of a time. Coming back from those.
I'd like to think the Lightning could lock it down.
Yeah. I mean, especially with what we saw that third period with Toronto. Yeah, they can lock it down. Like they showed when it all comes down to it, they're still what they are.
Yeah.
I think they got a decent chance. Obviously, I think they got a decent chance. I had them making the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah,
so
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I am also going to go with Tampa in this series. There's just something off to me about Florida. I can't really tell you what it is.
I know what it is. It's the President's Trophy. They got the President's Trophy.
They won the President's Trophy. They're not allowed to do the cup. That's how it works.
They're cursed.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, they did just break one curse. That was no playoff series win since 1996.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. That was longer than the Leafs one. But
now Toronto is just firmly in the driver's seat on that one.
Yeah.
All right. I want to move to the West now. And the shortest recap ever, Colorado sweeps Nashville.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah,
because it was done.
It was done last week.
Oh my god!
But what do you think? Because we didn't hear your thoughts last week.
So when I picked McKinnon for my Conn Smythe winner, I know my bracket's completely fucked right now, but when I picked McKinnon, my goodness, is he starting to show up? And Cale Makar, oh my god,
Makar was.
I've never seen a player take over a series like Makar is doing right now.
He's good.
Oh my god,
he's good.
I've seen lines take over series. I've seen combinations of players. Right, like you said, Tampa's third line. Cale Makar, my goodness, that's a man on a mission.
Yep.
But and Kemper has had enough time to rest, so he'll be back.
Yeah,
so that was one question mark, but that's fine. That's fine.
All right then.
And they have defensive stalwart Arturi Lehkonen. They could never fail.
Yes.
And Jack Johnson.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Anyway. Oh,
do
that
not
curse is broken.
Mention his name in the same sentence as Arturi.
Jack Johnson there was a curse. Any team with Jack Johnson didn't make it out of the first round, but Colorado did.
Hey, wow,
very easily.
Lastly, shout out to Daryl Sutter for his infamous quote. Do you guys know what Daryl Sutter said? Did you see that?
What did he say?
He said earlier in the season, he goes,
it's a waste.
I sure as hell wouldn't want to be a wild card team playing Colorado because that's a waste of 8 days. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Daryl Sutter.
Wow.
A man of few words.
Dang, man.
I'm not going to lie. His pre and post game interviews so far have been just perfect.
Incredible.
Jeez.
Perfect. Because I saw one from earlier. They were like, what's a day like today like? And he's like, oh, nice day. Saw some baby geese behind my house.
It's just great.
Oh, Jesus.
I fucking love it.
That's funny.
Before we get to Calgary, I kind of want to talk about this. In my opinion, this is the most disappointing series to me. St. Louis, Minnesota. Didn't even go 7.
Oh, God. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, Minnesota.
And Nick, bring us in here.
Dude, I'm just like, Fleury's. Fuck.
Listen, man, what did I say? I said it. You guys remember?
Yeah, you did.
I said it. I said Fleury in the past few years kind of sucked balls in the playoffs. Or not? He hasn't sucked, but he's had some choking action going on.
I think so. I saw that post earlier somewhere. I think it was on Twitter. Talbot's wife kind of called out Minnesota for basically saying "fuck you" to him in the playoffs.
Oh, really?
Basically, yeah. I don't remember these. I didn't read the full thing, so I'm not going to talk about it. But it's like you use a guy, you ride a guy all season long. Talbot was their guy until the trade deadline, and for a significant chunk afterwards, right? He played good all year.
Yeah.
And then here you go. We're going to go with him instead of you until game 6 and call you into the third. And then, or what was it, 6 or 5?
It was 6. They
Game
pulled
6,
it. No,
yeah.
they gave him the start in 6.
He started in game 6, yeah.
I don't think I would.
They pulled him in. They pulled him in the end of the 5th game, and I'm like, what did you want from him?
Well, I mean, sure, that's putting your back. Like that's
you haven't played him in over 2 weeks, so here you go.
I would have stuck with at that point in the series, just stick with your guy that's been riding. Like he hasn't played in forever. Like I would have stuck with Fleury on that one. But I don't know that it would really matter because they didn't score. So, or did they end up getting a goal? I don't even know.
I don't want to circle back to it, but that's what's going to be interesting about next round for Carolina, what they do with Freddie or Ranta.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to do with that.
Yeah. They got a little runway though, because
who are they going to be playing? Are they going to be playing winner of
Pittsburgh Rangers,
New York?
Yep, so we don't know yet.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry. Minnesota. I'm kind of surprised with Minnesota too. I'm surprised with St. Louis.
Kaprizov showed up, and that's he did.
Yeah,
Mike. Unless you had something to say, Mike, I was going to. Did you have anything to say?
I called it.
You did have a comment.
That's my comment. I called it.
I called it.
Yeah. Well, no, the about the goalie situation. They rode Talbot. They used Talbot all year, but then they go out and get Fleury, and then Fleury wrecks for the last part of the regular season. So I don't really blame them for going with Fleury in the playoffs just because of how well he played towards the end of the season. But
hindsight's 2020. What are you gonna do?
Indeed.
Now Minnesota's in their big fucking shit show of cap problems.
It's going to be an interesting offseason.
Now they're in cap Hades.
I credit to St. Louis though. Their guys showed up. Kyrou played great. Tarasenko had the Hattie in game 5 or something.
Jordan Binnington refrained from fighting anybody. Actually won hockey games.
David Perron played really good too.
David Perron played well.
Another hat trick.
When I look at the difference between both teams, because St. Louis at the end of that series had some dudes never heard of before in the lineup. Defenseman. Nick Leddy came back. He was injured for
he scored a goal.
That's your boy.
Yep, my boy Nick Leddy. I love to see. That's why I'm like, oh, that's cool. Go as far as you can, Leddy. Let's go. But Minnesota, to me, clearly their issue was, like we said, Kaprizov stepped up. Who else? Fiala. Did he really do anything?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
He did a lot.
Did Joel Eriksson-Ek stepped up?
Yeah.
But who else on Minnesota's offense? That's literally their issue. Where's their depth scoring? It's not there. It just doesn't exist.
Also, there's no way in the world they're going to re-sign Kevin Fiala. They won't have money.
No. We're going to talk about this another time. Kevin Fiala to the Islanders? Who knows? But, so now...
Mike Babcock to the Islanders.
Oh my God! I got to talk about that in this episode. I was.
Barry Trotz got fired.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Before we get to, all right. After all these series,
let's talk about the rest of the series and go to that.
I agree.
So Colorado, St. Louis, that's going to be amazing.
That'll be a good series.
I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
It's going to be a rough one.
What do you guys think?
I think Colorado.
You guys all think Colorado?
I think they're hungry.
Right. I think St. Louis is going to make it hard on them, though. It's probably going to go to 7.
It's going to be. I think it'll be a long series. It's not going to be a sweep like round 1, but I think Colorado will take it.
Okay.
All right.
I also think Colorado will take it.
Hot take is Colorado loses game 1 because they've been off for a week and a half.
Okay.
No, I like that take.
Yeah.
But they could be nice and rested and come out just fucking flying.
Yeah. Blazing. Yeah.
Which for Colorado, when Colorado's flying, it's extra fast.
That's just insane.
If St. Louis has to keep the pace with them, and if they can keep pace with them, Because I remember we watched a Colorado game. Colorado was a fat fucking team.
They're not keeping pace. I'm sorry. They're not keeping pace with Colorado. They got to slow them down. They got to bring them down to their speed.
Physical. St. Louis can do that. They can be physical. So that's their advantage there.
Be interesting.
Moving on to the Pacific Series, I want to start with my favorite series to watch in the first round, LA and Edmonton.
Really? That was series.
That was a good series.
What a fun series. It was great, dude.
Yeah, great. I'm so bummed.
Philly Deneau did his best, but
yeah.
Not good.
Declining talents of Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, I always get down on Quick.
He had a few good games, but then there was also moments where, like, man.
Yeah, I mean, he had some rough ones, but
that's fair. But Quick kept him in the series in most of the games.
Yeah, Quick took Game 6.
Did you guys see Connor McDavid's goal in Game 7, the second goal?
Yep.
I don't think I did.
That was the worst defense I've ever seen. Now, it's Connor McDavid, but Jesus H.
So
play some fucking defense, guys. There's dudes just standing there.
If you look at that play, the defenseman on the Kings. First off, the Kings started 4 defensemen who have never been in the playoffs before, just complete rookies. First off, no, throughout this entire series.
Okay.
Except when they brought Troy Stetcher in, which I mean, he's a guy, but like not a lot of playoff experience.
Or something?
He played great. That's the irony. Yeah, he played great. He scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals in the series.
2 goals.
Yeah,
Troy Stetcher was supposed to be a stud too.
Yes. But the McDavid goal, Sean Durzi, rookie defenseman Sean Durzi, is being hard on McDavid's stick, and it's so loud in Edmonton. He thought the ref called a penalty because of the way McDavid reacted, and he stopped skating and is mouthing to the ref mid-play, and it's McDavid. He's just going to keep going, and he wraps it around, jams it, the rebound comes out, everyone's scrambling, and then he puts it in. So it was like a weird broken play. And also the sheer skill of Connor McDavid.
Oh, yeah. No, he's insane.
I just watched it.
He's insane. But here's the other thing, too, is one of the angles of that, it's like the angle from the left of the net. He backhands it in, and just after the puck goes in the net, a Kings player comes into frame, just straight up, just gliding, like not taking strides or anything. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Move your feet!
Yeah.
Like, come on!
I just saw him. He's coming from the back.
There's 4 people around the net, and none of them could do something. Like,
if that Kings player would have been actually hustling into the zone, he could have trucked McDavid, and he wouldn't have scored.
Or at least tied up his stick or something.
Ben, did you watch a lot of that series or no?
Only parts. I don't think I ever watched a full game in that series. No.
Okay, not really feeling it. You're just kind of like, yeah.
It was always on later, and
those are late games.
I would always like watch a game and then be like, all right, I'd watch hockey and then hop off, or like I'd go play video games or something. But I saw a couple parts of the couple games just because I saw them at work. But no, I didn't see too much of it. I was just hoping for my boy Phil Deneau's sake that they could get through.
Yeah, same.
I was hoping for my bracket.
Well, that too. I had them in my bracket as well, but
everybody did except Rick. Yeah.
But seeing the playoff Kings, man, I was like, honestly, I was rooting for the Kings a little bit because they were just so much fun to watch. And Nick, you called it playoff Quick coming into play there.
He definitely had. He really played
great. I know it is. I see what you mean, but like Quick is one of those goalies. He does take over games, but he also plays like a lunatic. Like when he cuts down the angle, he's like 10 feet out of his net. So if you pass it across the ice, it's like, oh, well, that's an auto goal. But so much fun. It's just fun hockey. The Kings have nothing to hang their heads about. And also, props to Edmonton. They got over the hump. The Kings threw everything they had at them, and that's huge for Edmonton. I think their first that's the first time Edmonton's won a playoff series since 2017.
Yeah, no, because they beat. Yeah, I think so. Because I don't remember who they beat, but then lost out to Anaheim.
They lost to the Ducks, and they.
Yeah, I don't remember who they beat.
So here's the question. The other Game 7 tonight. Calgary, Dallas.
We can have a Battle of Alberta.
There could be a Battle of Alberta.
I hope there is.
If there's a Battle of Alberta, we'll say if, obviously, for obvious reasons. What do you guys think?
I think Calgary takes it, but
No, Edmonton.
Counselors, present your evidence.
Well, the only reason I say Edmonton is because Dallas has been throwing the kitchen sink at them at Calgary this whole series to try and stop them, and have been.
Okay.
So I personally, I don't think it's going to happen anyway, because I think Calgary's going to get bounced in the first round tonight.
Oh.
Well, I will say is if they do make it through tonight, which I think they will, Edmonton isn't anywhere near as structured of a team as Dallas is, and Ottinger is a far better goalie than Mike Smith is.
That's my big thing too. Yeah.
Mike Smith's been playing well at parts so far, but like, I think, I don't know. I think if Calgary can get over this game, I think they'll be fine against the Oilers. I think it'll be a close series, but I think they'll take it.
That's
the difference is Dallas is. You're right. Dallas is a structured team, and Dallas is just like stopping them in neutral zone.
Yeah.
So like,
this is the
their
way
main guys haven't been like, they haven't done a lot. Like, they've played good. Like, their main guys have played good, the three of them, but not as near as good as what I expected them to.
There's also less scoring in that series than any of the others by a lot.
Right.
That's because of the way Dallas plays.
Being like, we're going to be defense first all the time, and then Daryl Sutter, who is pretty defensive-y himself, like, it's just going to be a lower scoring series. And then I just think Jake Ottinger has kept them in so many games that they shouldn't have been.
He's unbelievable.
Yep.
Like, he's been doing some insane shit to keep them in that series, and I think it would have been over by now if he hadn't been doing that. Sure. But that's hockey.
The way I see
this, he wasn't even supposed to play. That's funny though. He wasn't even supposed to be their goalie at the beginning of the season. He was their fourth in line goalie,
which is nuts.
That is insane. The way I see this is, if Calgary makes it through, I think Calgary beats Edmonton for all the reasons Ben said. They've had a hard time scoring against Dallas. Edmonton is the opposite of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Calgary's scoring will bump up if they play the Oilers, and I think Markstrom will be able to keep him in, the games. Maybe not as good as Ottinger is, but he'll be able to keep him in against the Oilers. And I think if Dallas makes it through, I think the Oilers take it.
Curb stopped.
Yes.
I don't think there's not the structure to not allow McDavid to just cut the, like, I don't think you can out-structure that.
Yeah,
I think he can just.
You think if Dallas makes it through, Edmonton's going to take it, or Dallas is going to take it?
I think Edmonton will take it.
Okay.
I think opposite.
So you think Edmonton? What?
You think Dallas is going to beat Edmonton if Dallas wins?
Oh,
right.
dang.
Dallas can beat Calgary. I think Dallas will beat Edmonton too.
Okay.
I don't have like a lot of reasons why. It's just kind of a gut thing, honestly. Like,
never know.
This is my thing. If Dallas is stopping they were basically almost 40 goal scorers, 40 goal scorers, almost. Mangiapane was 30-some, high 30s. I mean, I think they can clog up the zone enough to slow down those two guys. And like the Robertson, Hintz, and Pavelski line has been.
That's not a bad point, actually.
They've been.
I mean, maybe they'd be. I don't know.
And Dallas's defense has been good.
Oh yeah. If it's not, Dallas is in a real bind because that's all they have.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird gut feeling thing.
I want to hear what Eric thinks.
Which is completely opposite of what my bracket is too.
Yeah, I really need, for my bracket's sake, I really need this to fall one way tonight.
Yeah. What about you, Eric?
To be honest, this is a tough one for me. I think Calgary's going to win tonight too, but my answer to who will win Calgary Edmonton is I don't know, because I've never seen a player like McDavid just will his team through the end of a series. And just now that playoff McDavid has made it over that first hump, I don't know. Like, Calgary has all the tools, in my opinion, to beat Edmonton. The structure, the goal to everything, again, that Ben said, that you said, Mike. But it's just going to be such a good. I just want the series to happen. That's what I'm rooting for. I just want the series to happen.
Oh, it's going to get insane.
Be some late nights.
It's going to be a great series. But yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm still, for my bracket's sake, I'm still going Calgary. I'll just say that if I have to pick one.
All right then.
That's that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's
and
it.
you'll all know who was right and wrong by the time this goes up tomorrow.
You will indeed.
Yeah,
we did all of the West.
Yeah,
pretty sure we're done.
We did do all.
That's all.
That's it.
That is all of them.
That's all of them, which means we can now real quick talk about some Islanders.
Oh my god.
That was the dumbest fucking thing.
I don't know.
So Nick just summed it up. Good night, guys. Thanks for.
I don't know.
I understand why you're skeptical, Mike, but you're also talking about Eric. Nah, go ahead, Eric.
Okay. So a lot of people were doing some reflection on the Islanders. So Barry Trotz, every season he's been with the Islanders, they've been in the playoffs, and they've done some shit other than when they got swept by Carolina in the second round in 2018. 18.
Got to the second round in a year where nobody really expected the Islanders to do anything, if I remember correctly. That was that first year of Barry, right?
Yeah, so Barry did a lot of good things. So some criticism that I've heard, all right, for people watching, Barry Trotz got fired. The Islanders had a really terrible season this year. A lot of people expected him to make the playoffs. He didn't. Barry Trotz has been a coach for over 20 years in the NHL, and he just has an incredible record. Just everywhere he's went seems to have worked. He led Washington to their first Stanley Cup in franchise history, 2018.
Multiple President's Cup trophies.
And the Islanders got rid of him after one poor season after making the playoffs 3 years in a row. And
the Final Four 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, and so I don't want to compare. This is apples and oranges. You remember how with Ducharme, Ben, people were saying people were giving him the benefit of the doubt just because Montreal was in the playoffs, but because of formatting, that's why Montreal was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So 2 of those years, people were like, oh, well, if you look at the team, they had a bad season this year. And, if you look at, the Islanders, technically the format of the past years did kind of help them. And people were nitpicking, I think, really nitpicking. If you nitpick like that, you can try to convince someone of an argument. And sure, okay, but, look at what they did when they were there. And I'm just at this point, if you, man, I don't know, Lou Lamoriello, all right, we're at the point, whatever happens after this could be amazing or terrible. I don't have enough evidence to tell you which one it's going to be. Based on how good of a coach Barry Trotz is and what he got out of the Islanders' current roster, that on paper, if you compare to other teams in the playoffs, is, yikes. I'm leaning towards it's not going to be so good. But Lou Lamoriello did absolutely nothing for the Islanders this trade deadline and the past trade deadline. He got Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac, which, for the playoffs, sure. But for 3 years, when the Islanders lost to Carolina, guys, they needed a goal scorer. And nothing was addressed. Nothing was done. And if you're going to fire a coach and not give him a chance with some other pieces that you get based on his resume, my goodness.
Also, after a year where there was almost no chance it was going to go well. With the shit that was dealt there with the 13-game road trip, the huge COVID outbreaks they had, sure, excuses are excuses, but I don't know if this is the one, especially towards the end, they brought it back and just about got, there's a little strong, but they kept themselves in the conversation a lot longer than most people thought they would.
Yeah.
Especially, like Eric said, they didn't do anything at the deadline this year, which indicates, they want to run it back. Why wouldn't you run it back with the same coach?
Yeah. If you're all in on the group, the coach is part of the group.
Yeah.
What the hell? It's just weird to me. And I understand. I will give Lou some benefit of the doubt in the sense it's the contracts. We've talked about the contracts on the Islanders. It's hard to move that. It is hard to move some of those contracts. I get it. Totally get it. But
he also gave them a lot of those contracts.
Yeah.
He didn't really give them a give him the boot before he got a fair shake. Like
the culture of who the Islanders are as a team was becoming so clear over the past few years. I remember, guys, when that news was announced, the Islanders have hired Barry Trotz as their head coach, and I was like, this could be pretty awesome, you know? Didn't really know too much of what to expect because I don't really follow Nashville for all those years. And Washington, Washington was also just Washington. So, you know, like obviously I thought he was a good coach, but Washington was a beast of a team for all those years, you know, despite the playoff failures until they won the cup. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This offseason is going to be a lot of fun for a bunch of teams looking for a new head coach or some changes because everyone is going to be in the mix for Barry.
I'm interested to see, what teams might have just been like, all right, we're going to stay with our guy. And then they see Barry Trotz on they're like, oh, we might not stay with our guy.
Yeah, right.
We might go for him. But
I just think again the Islanders, like it seems, I don't know, when they make changes, like so far when they made major changes, it worked out. But I look at the names then of some of the coaches that could come in. It's the classic NHL thing, right? Oh, this old dude coming out of retirement, this guy who was an ex-player. It's just
Lamorelle is going to reunite himself with Mike Babcock.
I will become a Kraken fan. You heard it on this podcast. I will become a Kraken fan officially if that happens. I will. It's just it infuriates me just even talking about it. Someone summed it up. This is the Islander season. A 13-game road trip as their new arena's finished. COVID outbreaks, the loss of Clark Gillies and Mike Bossy, missing the playoffs, and the firing of Barry Trotz. That is the 2021-2022 Islanders season.
It's a rough season right there.
Yep. That's it.
All right then.
That's just the cherry on top. I have nothing else to say other than Islander fans, go out, get some fresh air, hang out with friends. You know.
Yeah. I like it.
Maybe pick up some hobbies.
Next week we'll be able to sum up.
Pick up some hobbies.
Sum up the Calgary season. Well, actually,
saying Dallas is winning jerseys. Okay.
So we'll be able to wrap up that series next week and then talk about first round.
Before we move on, because I think this should be mentioned, because it was Tuesday, Habs win the number 1 pick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Canadians got the number 1 pick.
Congrats, Montreal.
And they're not going to take Shane Wright. They're going to take that Russian guy you were talking about.
He's Czech, I think. There is so much dumb shit going around on Twitter right now. Where,
if they don't take Shane Wright, they're idiots.
Yeah, it's like, this guy who has been the consensus number 1 for months, and it's the same thing that happens every year around the draft, a couple months out, just to make content. People are like, oh well, what if he's not actually the number 1, guys? What if it's these guys? And I don't want to hear it. Go with the center. Go with the one that everybody's been saying is awesome forever, the guy who made the OHL on special permission because he was a year too young or whatever. He was given a special acceptance. I don't remember what the term is, but go with the center who is gonna be probably pretty good. Don't go with the maybe winger who's gonna be ready 2 to 3 years down the road. You need center help right now. Go with the obvious number 1 pick, please. I hope they, and I think they will.
What if the Russian guy ends up? What if the Russian guy ends up being like Kucherov?
Slavkovsky, he I think is Czech.
Or the Czech guy, yeah, sorry.
And what if he does? Obviously it's all drafting and
yeah, it's all luck. Luck and development.
I would like them to do the obvious thing, please. He's not Czech, he is Slovak.
Slovakian. Right.
So
anyway.
So there we go.
It was a very nice night at work when I just put on the lotto and the draft lottery and saw that Montreal Canadiens sign get turned up. I was very hyped.
Man, I didn't even know it was happening.
I did. I was tracking that shit.
I had no idea.
For a couple of months now, and
doesn't matter when your team is good. It matters when your team's bad.
Very true.
Senators are picking 7th, so that kind of sucks.
Lightning aren't picking until probably fucking round 5 or something.
I would say they probably don't even have their first round for this year.
No, they definitely don't. We had to give 2 away for Hagel. We had to give 2 for Hagel, so.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far.
Oh, yeah.
The Paul, what did you trade for Paul?
I don't remember. Joseph and a second, maybe?
That's looking all right now, too.
I can't remember. Yeah, yeah. But that's going to wrap it up. After, as this episode is posted, the first round will be complete. These 2 game 7s will be done. We'll know who's in the second round.
There's 36 seconds left in the Pittsburgh-New York game right now, and they're tied 3-3.
And it's tied
3-3. Yep. The Rangers got one.
Maybe.
And it was Mika.
Oh, there it is.
You get some bonus hockey, boys.
Yeah.
Yep. But we will see you guys next week. Leave in the comments down below. How's your bracket looking? And which series outcomes have surprised you most? Is it possibly Tampa beating the Leafs?
Or is it possibly Dallas beating Calgary?
It could be.
That was amazing.
I don't know why you're actively going against your bracket right now.
Actively going against your cup winner.
All right, everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And tune in next week to see us talk about whatever games have happened. Peace out.